Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video on an everyday kind of glam look. This is an everyday look for me. It's not an everyday look for most people. That's okay if you want to dress up for a night. This also can be a night out look. Just use it for whatever you want or just purely for enjoyment. I don't know. But for me, this is kind of like an everyday kind of glam look. If this is not completely your cup of tea, just take off the lashes and do a more nude lip, or change it up to fit you and your style. But if you want to see how to get this look, just keep on watching. Okay, so I've already moisturized my skin, and then I'm going to go in my favorite foundation. It is the Too Faced Born This Way, and I'm using the shade Pearl. I put like a pump and a half on the back of my hand because I do use it with a damp sponge, and I'm just going to start applying this. And I do start at the perimeter of my face. Most people start in the center. I like to start in the outer perimeter just because of my skin. My face is normally darker than the rest of my body, which is kind of funny, but I'm kind of opposite of everybody else. So I like to make sure that my neck blends with my face. Okay, after foundation, I like to go in with concealer, and I use the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, and this is in the shade Light. I apply this under my eyes, also like down the center of my face, just because I like to highlight and conceal with this kind of at the same time, just so we're not using a cajillion products and we can just tackle everything with one. And again, I just blend it out with a damp sponge. Now to set all of the cream product in place, I am taking my Airspun Powder. I'm just going to take my sponge and put it underneath my eyes. And everywhere that I put the concealer. I don't really let it sit on there for a very long time. I just take a big fluffy brush, and the excess product on under my eyes and on the rest of my face, I just kind of brushed to the areas that didn't have concealer. I'm going to do my brows off camera. I have finally found a way of filling in my brows that I love the best, but I'm still practicing it, so I might do a video later on how I do my brows. But for the sake of time, I'm going to do them off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have giant caterpillars on my forehead, the next step is contouring. So my new favorite contour brush is the Morphe M523, and it is this baby right here. I love this thing. My favorite contour kit is the Kat Von D Shade and Light, but on an everyday basis, I tend to reach for the e.l.f. contour kit just because it's a little bit cheaper and gives me pretty much the exact same effect, and I'm not going through a $40 palette every week. I'm just going through one that's more affordable. So I take the contour shade, which is this one right here, which looks so similar to the Kat Von D one, the most ashy tone in the palette, but with this brush I just take it and put it right in the hollows of my cheeks. And then when I want to kind of blend it out, I'll turn it the other way, and it kind of diffuses the color upward instead of, down here and giving you, a 5 o'clock shadow instead of a contour. I do just a very little bit on the temples, and that's just simply to make sure we don't have like brown, white brown. Just to make sure it all melts together. Because I don't necessarily like to contour my temples. They're fine to me. And then I'll put a little bit on the tip of my nose, and then I go in with a little bit of a smaller brush to contour the nose. I always just like take some color back in the back. I don't bring it all the way really across the chin. You can kind of take what's left, but I mainly like to focus it right here at the very back of the jaw. And this is really just to kind of blend the rest of the face with the neck. And then I'll take my powder brush from earlier and I'll just blend that neckline out, just so that way we don't have any harsh lines. I will then take like this skin tone, like yellowish shade in the palette, and kind of clean up that contour. I'll also take it like around the edges of the forehead contour, just a little bit. And this is simply just to blend the colors with the rest of the face. And then just take like a small fluffy brush and I will bring this down the sides of my nose. So I kind of like make a straight line on the bridge, and then once I get to where it starts protruding out, I make like a right angle right here. Like if you connect it from here to here, you have a right triangle. If that makes any sort of sense, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So like right there, I'll make a horizontal line, and then you get your little right angle. And then I will kind of, come around here. Giving myself basically an entirely new nose shape. And then I will take that same brush with a ton of skin tone powder and blend it out. Basically layering just those skin tone shades on top, so that way it fades that brown. Because I don't want it to be super harsh. I don't like super harsh lines on the nose. It's just not a flattering thing for me. But I like them to be, sharp enough that it reshapes the nose. And I'm working in all natural light, so you can see like how, obviously natural lighting, how the makeup looks in natural lighting. Now I know I've done a tutorial using this palette right here, the Tartelette in Bloom palette, but this really is just the best go-to day-to-day palette. It just has everything you need. So I always start out with a Morphe M518, which is just a nice fluffy brush, and I will take Smarty Pants, which is just this neutral like tannish shade. It's really good for a transition shade, but first and foremost just take I take these two shades here. It is Charmer and Flower Child. Mix them together and set the lid. I don't prime the lids, I make sure to put concealer and stuff on them, and then I just make sure to set them so we don't get any, skips in the inner corner like right in here. So I will take Smarty Pants. I'll wrap that through the crease. Okay, so my camera battery died, and while I was charging, I decided I would just do the other eye off camera. Now I'm taking a Morphe M441, which is more of a tapered blending brush, and I'm taking Jet Setter, which is just a little bit darker, and I am putting that more directly into the crease just, you know, deepen it up. And honestly, this look is super duper quick. If you get yourself some good blending brushes, it will be so quick and easy. Like, these Morphe brushes have changed my life. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go into Rebel and Leader. I'm gonna mix them, just, you know, cut out some steps. And I'm going to use a Morphe M514, which is just a smaller version of the M441. And I'm putting this in the outer V. Just kind of building up that color. And then I'm, you know, just kind of blending it through the bottom part of the crease. Then I'm just gonna go with Funny Girl on my finger because I feel like it just looks the best that way. And put this all over my lid and inner corner. I like the inner corner to look messy and sparkly, and you know, to each their own. But I'm just going to pile that on. Then I'm just going to take a little pencil brush. This is one I believe is from Coastal Scents. And I'm just going to take Makeup Geek's Corrupt, which is just a black. And I'm going to load up that brush and put this on the very outer corner. And going back with my Morphe M514 and with some Leader and Rebel mixed together, which are the red tones, and blending out the black. So I'm just taking the Morphe M518, which is the very first brush we went in with, and taking a little bit of Smarty Pants and rocking that to blend out those edges. And I'm just kind of repeating all of the steps from the top just to make sure we get something really smoked out. Now I'm going to take a Morphe E17 brush, which is an awesome fluffy little pencil brush. I'm going to take Sweetheart, which is just this pink toned shade, and I'm going to rock that all over that lower lash line. And I want this to be pretty smoky, so I am definitely being heavy-handed and bringing it down pretty far. And just with that same brush, I'm going to take like the edge of it and dipping it into Rebel, and I'm going to kind of hold it more upright and use it on that outer corner. Then I'm going to take more of a pointed pencil brush with Leader, which is just a darker red, and putting that on the, again, on the outer corner. And finally taking this brush, and I'm actually going to take Activist, which is this deep, deep brown in the palette. I'm not going to go in with black just because I didn't feel like it. And putting that on the very outer corner of the lower lash line. Alrighty, I'm going to do some winged liner. I'm going to take the NYX Vinyl Liquid Liner, which it's like the exact same thing as the NYC Liquid Liner. This is just the one that I've been reaching for lately. And I'm going to create a very elongated thin wing. And if you kind of mess up a little bit, like I do all the time, I just take a little flat concealer brush. This is a MAC 242. And a little bit of my foundation. I don't take concealer because I use a lighter concealer The foundation makes it blend out just a little bit better. And of course, just sharpen up that wing. For lashes, I'm just using, I don't know, you probably can't get these. They're at a local beauty supply store that I have. But they look like this. They are number ones. If you can figure out what lashes these are, hold them. And my all-time favorite glue is the Duo Brush On Adhesive. Apparently this one has vitamins, so it's the Duo Brush On Adhesive. And this just makes applying lashes so flipping easy. And just a teeny tiny bit of this glue goes such a long way. It's insane. So I just take a little bit of it, put it on the band, and sometimes I'll just take my liquid liner and kind of touch it up over the band. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit of some blush. I'm just gonna take something in this palette. It's just an e.l.f. blush palette. I'm just gonna work some color into my cheeks. With this kind of eye look, you can really wear really any color just because it's so neutral. For highlight, I'm going to take the Anastasia That Glow Kit and a Morphe M501, and I just kind of like to take these three, mix them, and apply that to my entire face. Now I'm going to quickly apply a lippy. I'm going to line them with Jordana's Tawny, and over top I'm going to take the NYX Lingerie Lippy in Honeymoon, and I'm going. Okay guys, so this is my finished everyday glam look. This is an everyday look for me. It's not an everyday look for most people, and I understand that. But if you want to change up your makeup routine and go a little more glam, this is, to me, the best way to do it. Go with a neutral eye, a neutral lip, some highlight, and you're good to go. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one.